Alright, welcome back everyone to another video today, and I'm going to start putting myself out there and start doing some new type of videos, mainly tier lists and reactions, as well as incorporating a couple of friends into some of them as well, to see if I can give some perspective and some extra banter into some of these videos. Now, that being said, I'm going to be doing this one solo today, and I'm going to be talking about the Elden Ring Remembrance bosses, including the DLC ones. Having beaten the game multiple times and then now coming back and looking at each fight and seeing how I enjoyed them or saying if I didn't enjoy them, and I'll even put the spectacle of what the fight was like for me. I'll give my own personal opinion on it. So, that being said, I kind of want to go in order, but at the same time, it's all backwards and messed up everywhere. Okay, well, for starting off, then where's Godric? There he is. Godric. All right. Godric was actually the first Remembrance boss you come across, and he has a decent Great Rune that gives you 5 across in each stat, which is pretty decent for the early game until you can manage to get Morgoth's Great Rune, or Radahn's Great Rune, depending on what type of build you're making. And honestly, for the fight itself, it's a two-phase fight, and you can even easily one-phase him if you over-level for this fight. He's a pretty good starter boss, but he's nothing too crazy. I would say, if anything, he would be, I say C tier. C tier. I genuinely think he's a good boss. He has some decent lore. He's okay as a boss encounter. But being the fact that he could just easily be steamrolled over means that it's kind of difficult for me to put him in a high regard. His fight basically is, how do I say this? He just launches
Show
wind
me
at
your
you.
next card.
Oh, no.
Filtered.
Stupid ads. Hate ads. Speaking of, I'm gonna just have to. No. Not interested. There, that's simple. Alright, well, regardless of that, Godric is pretty cool. He launches wind at you, he spins around with his axes, and he has that breathing fire attack with the dragon, and then imbuing his weapons and airwaves with fire is actually a pretty good design choice. I do like that. However, that is just not what I'm interested in at the moment. So, you know what? Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just go ahead and mute the tab. That way, so if any ad does pop up, nothing will actually get shown. Excuse me. Stop. Let's see if we can just keep that there and hopefully it doesn't do anything. Or I may just try to do some video editing and cut out the rest of this except the tier list. But yeah, Godric, C tier. Pretty good overall. Not a bad boss. He's a good introductory boss, and he gives a decent Great Rune. So for that, I will put him at C tier. And now on to next would be Rellana. This is where I started next. So Rellana, I would say A tier. While being the fact that getting a hold of this boss fight it was a decent challenge to get through the castle the first time around. And then of course coming across the infamous little dude guarding the elevator. I forgot what his name is for the second. But besides him, going into the fight in a library where all the books can be thrown at you by these little gremlin-like children on the ground, as well as her using them to become gravestones to throw at you to break down the entire arena is actually pretty cool. I like that spectacle. And then you beat her from out of her first phase, and then when she goes to the second phase, you get to talk about absolute cinema. You'll get to see why she's known as the Full Moon Queen. And it's very beautiful. The fight is beautiful, but unfortunately, the only thing that's holding it out of S tier for me is the fact that she can do summons and she consistently blasts magic over and over again. It's a pretty campy strategy, and I'm not there for it. Also, when you're doing a magic build, this woman can be a real pain to deal with. Mainly because of her high innate damage resistance to magic. But overall, great fight, great boss. Enjoyed it, had a good time. Now, where did I go next? After this, I didn't do that one yet. Let's see. No, Radon. There we go. S tier. S tier. Radon was a great fight. Being able to use the summons and bring them all in for basically a straight up jumping, just to get reverse jumped by the man himself, is absolutely incredible. It's a fun experience, and you get to walk in and seeing that this man, weakened, battered, still holding back the stars, and yet he's still just so strong. And he still has his horse with him to make sure that he doesn't trample the horse. He's still using his gravity magic to make sure that he's able to actually, keep from destroying it, which is beautiful. I love his story. I love the concept of his lore. I love his boss fight. I couldn't have put anything above him for right now. Now, moving on to the next one, we'll just go ahead and go through with this one. B tier. Jeez. The fact that he gives such a good weapon and has an okay Great Rune means that I can leave him at B tier. Basically, the Great Rune, from what he has, if I remember correctly, is the one that gives you, I think, slight healing on kills. Correct? Maybe I'm wrong. But besides that, he's got a pretty decent boss fight. It's a 2-phaser, but the fact is that you get a weapon that instantly turns him into a joke, and if you don't use it, then you're dealing with a ridiculous pool of magma that's just sitting there sapping your health away. It's just kind of a pain. So he's not great, he's not bad. He's a great boss for the spectacle and the story. So I'll put him at B. Moving on, we'll be going to, let's see. I think the next one would have to be Estelle. Yeah, Estelle. I will put Estelle at A tier. Actually, yeah, A tier. Okay. The reason I put Estelle at A tier is because of the fact that Estelle genuinely is a beautiful fight. Leading up to it, the design, the image, the background, and the fact that you're in an underwater cave, but it seems like you're in the middle of the stars is insane. It's beautiful, and it's a very cool thing to watch as he uses different types of magic. And the fact that he is a literal dragonfly made of planets is absolutely stunning. So overall, A tier. And he gives a pretty cool weapon, being the... I don't know if I can say this out on YouTube right now. I like it, but it's not everyone's cup of tea. So A tier for me. And now we move on to, let's see, I think Morgott would be next. I would put Morgott at S tier. Overall, a really fun fight. It develops quite a bit from the first iteration of being able to battle against Margit. And when he pulls out that Damascus blade, it puts a whole new tension to everything that comes afterwards. That blade itself, as a reward, is a beautiful curved sword. I love that thing to pieces because of the fact that it's bleed and it's Ash of War. So I'll just have to put it up as S tier. I enjoyed the fight. I had a great time being able to use Melina as a summon if necessary. And then when we're coming back after I finally did it and soloing this boss, it was definitely a lot of fun. I had a great time. So S tier. And he gives a really great rune as well, being the fact that it greatly amplifies your health. I think like 25%. It's incredible. It's a good one, especially for builds that are meant to be like, I guess you could say, strength and health builds. So I'm putting it at S tier. Then moving on, let's see. Where do we go next? We'll do the Fire Giant. I say B tier. He's not a bad fight overall. He's okay. The learning curve to the giant is a pain at first. Being able to get through his opening snowstorm, being able to realize you have to roll forward into it instead of to the sides or back is a little annoying. But other than that, targeting his leg up until the fact that he's throwing out magma and fire everywhere, and of course the rolling around and getting smothered by him over and over again. It's an okay fight. He has a pretty good incantation that comes out of this fight as well, and the whip is not bad, but there's certainly better things out of a remembrance from him. The spectacle around the arena, the snowy arena for a fire boss, is pretty okay. It's pretty good. I enjoyed it. So B tier. Let's see, where do we go next? We'll do the deer. I forget exactly what his name is. I would say C tier. Not a bad boss, not anything too rememberable. It's just a pretty fight with a deer as a boss, with a couple of interesting, I guess you could say, things about it. Like the deer itself, the spirits. I think it's like, what is it? The spirit ashes or something like that. Something to do with it. It has okay lore and everything, but the fight itself is pretty one note. He has pretty much the same moves and doesn't really develop much as a fight. So C tier. Actually, you know what? D tier, because he doesn't develop at all. It's just a simple one note fight. All right. Now we move on to, what is this? Heart? Is that Bale? If that's Bale, we'll talk about him later. I'm just trying to make sure. Make sure I do this correctly. All right. We'll move on to Malekith. S tier. S tier. Malekith was a great fight. Everything about it was perfection. It was a skill check in every way. Knowing how to dodge, knowing how to do timing, knowing when to come in and swing your weapon or to blast magic. Basically, it's an ultimate skill check. And without help, he can put on constant pressure, making the fight interesting as it goes. And the lore behind him is even better. Basically, knowing the fact that he carries the literal rune of death is incredible. Knowing that if you get hit by this blade in cannon, that you are gone. You don't exist anymore. That was a pretty cool fight. Plus, the weapon and the incantation were really good as well. I have to put him up to S tier. Now we're going to be going to Moog. I think this is Moog, right? I'm putting him up at A tier. He was a pretty cool fight. Genuinely had a good time. If you're underprepared for him and you don't bring the little crystal that you're supposed to get in, I think, what is it? I forget exactly where you got the crystal. Is that little church that you're supposed to fight that woman with the Eleonora? That's her name. There we go. Without fighting her and getting the purifying crack or purifying tier or whatever it is, it can be a little difficult, especially because you'll have to sit there and burn through 3 different flasks just to be able to hang on. It's kind of aggravating. But otherwise, the fight itself is pretty fun, and he develops throughout the fight, growing wings and being able to sweep wider around the arena, being able to fly and enjoy itself like that. It was an overall good time. I had a great time with this boss. Now, moving on. Going to Horaloo, I guess, would be next for me. Personally, Horaloo, an incredible fight. Great fight. I had a great time going against Godfrey and Horaloo, and it is one of the biggest skill checks of the entire game. It is incredibly hard, and it puts up a great challenge, and it holds his title well. The first Elden Lord. Which is honestly a great time. Watching him switch from his great axe to his bare fist and hands, ripping out the suppression from himself, and then he has seismic, like I guess you could say seismic quakes around the entire arena. It's a crazy experience. The whole thing from fight start to finish is fun. And it's a skill check for those who genuinely don't understand his mechanics or don't understand anything about him. So I put him at A tier. Moving on to, I think, what is this? Placidusax? If it's Placidusax, then he goes to S tier. The fight, the arena, the whole spectacle of what it means to be one of the few dragons left over. One of the few true, I guess you could say true dragons. This dude was insane to fight. The lightning, as well as, his, I guess you could say his remembrance weapon. All of this is perfect. Everything feels great. The entire fight is just I can't even talk about it. I enjoyed it so much. Being able to get the timing down on all of his attacks, him just appearing right next to you as if he's some freaking shadow. It's definitely incredible to be able to play this. I need to do another run sometime. I need to put that up on the channel. Maybe this actually will inspire me to do a full playthrough again. But now we get into the next boss. Let's see, where should we go next? I think this is the one, the darkness dragon, the one, or sorry, the death dragon. I'll put it at B tier. Great spectacle, great fight, and the death lightning was also very annoying. I'm never forgiving you for that. Dying to that lightning cloud over and over again because I'm constantly trying to avoid the dragon. I genuinely didn't enjoy it. But the fact that he has a unique status condition and the lightning itself is really cool, and he gives he gives the incantation for it, I'm fine with it. I will say that he's in B tier. He's okay. He's not that bad, but he's not that great. Now we start moving on to some of the more interesting ones. And let's just go ahead and look at the rest of these and make sure I'm not missing anything from the base game before I get to the DLC. Elden Beast. I would say B tier. It's an okay fight. I loved the spectacle, the arena, the build-up, Radagon, Elden Beast. They're really cool to fight. They give me a lot of hope for a lot of the DLC to come. And it was a really cool experience during the time, but after learning the timing, learning the I guess you could say learning the patterns and learning how to deal with it, I would say it's a B tier fight. It's pretty cool, great spectacle. It's a decent skill check for anyone who wants to do it. But most of the things about Elden Beast that make it difficult are not the moves that he uses himself, but more so the fact that he shoots them in tandem with one another. Every time Elden Beast uses a move, like the sword swing, he has another move that comes out, like the, what is it? I guess you could say the stars that follow you, that little seeking one that ends up shooting out of the heavens at you, or the one that follows you and shoots out little sprites at you. It's genuinely all of those, and then you have to dodge another attack, like the explosion or the sword sweep, or he'll come in himself and sweep at you. That's what makes Elden Beast difficult. It's not the moves themselves, but the fact that he uses them in tandem with one another. I put him at B tier. He's a pretty cool fight, and he has the essential rune farming weapon and a decent sword for holy builds if you wanted to use one. I enjoyed it. Now, the last one of the base game. Oh boy. S tier. Melania is S tier. No debate under anything from me. I enjoyed this fight, and I have never sat down to just pitch myself at something for so long. It took me 100 hours to beat this woman on the first attempt. Sorry, on the first round. Like, when I first started playing the game, before I even put it up on content or did anything, it took me 100 hours to beat Melania, to learn, to be able to grow and adapt and see what her skill set was like, what her moves were like, and be able to skill check it through it. And she heals during the fight, too. If she hits you, she heals. It was an annoying pain of a fight. But besides all that, the spectacle, the fight, the build-up, the lore, everything works out perfectly for Melania. I enjoyed it, and I genuinely hope that they continue making excruciatingly great bosses like this in the future. Let's see. Where do we start in the DLC? I think that's the Dancing Lion. Dancing Lion was pretty cool. The 4-element gimmick was really great. And being able to sit around and watch as he's dancing and flailing around, breathing different types of elemental breaths at you, being able to, go up and roar to change up the next element. based on however much health he has left, was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. It's a great gimmick, and he's a great boss. B tier. Now, we move on to the next one, which, if I had to say where I went next, it would be Rolana. I put her at A tier. She was a fun fight. It was basically no introduction, no talking, no nothing. But the fight itself was a great duel. Back and forth between a knight who uses magic and fire. A really stellar combination of, what is it? I think faith and intelligence. A really great boss with great gimmick, and the weapon itself is really cool too. Overall, she's a great boss, and the lore actually supports a lot of the things I like about her. So I put her at A tier. Now, if we had to go to the boss that I went to next after this, then we would be going to Mesmer. This dude is crazy. I genuinely can't think of another place to put him other than S. The fight, the build up, the way he speaks to you in the beginning, the snake gimmick, as well as being able to launch the snakes, as well as his explosive orb. I genuinely had a great time fighting Mesmer. That is when I didn't get constantly blown up and snake chased into oblivion. It was a great time. I enjoyed it. Except for all the different times that I feel like I should have dodged an attack and instead I got speared. That was fun. But aside from that, he's a really great boss. Great lore, great design, great gimmick. S tier. Now we move on to I think we should go to this guy. Disappointment. Absolute disappointment. The boss itself is okay. The gimmick is pretty cool too, especially considering that the weapon also makes you do the gimmick that he has, which is the little twist and twirl thing. It was pretty cool. But if you bring a weapon with the right imbuement through this, it's just an easy breeze. The fight is over in seconds, and then you just don't. There's nothing to really fight with. That's it. It's literally just an easy fight for an easy remembrance. I have to put him down to D. He's just not that memorable. I can't even remember much about him except for having to jump off an incredible an incredible cliff all the way down, just falling endlessly, and then you get down there to a beautiful arena with a waterfall, I think it was, and then there's just this guy riding off out towards you. And then he's dead after about 15 to 20 seconds if you use the right build. It's just sad. So unfortunately, I have to put him at D tier. I don't think any of the bosses in this game are trash, but at the very least, this guy was annoying. Only because of the fact that he was so boring. Ugh. All right, now let's get into something really peak. Lord of Frenzy Flame. This was an annoying but really fun fight. Madness as a status effect is very aggravating, especially when bosses or mobs have it in the game, because when they constantly build it up for you and then you get stunned and then you're madness locked, it does damage to you and then they can still hit you while you're madness locked, which is even more aggravating. But after all of that, this feels incredible. The first time you see this dude as a pitiful man just sitting there on the floor with a sword through his eye, and then just watching him flail just to try and fight us, for us to then smack him down, just for him to turn into this crazy being of Frenzy Flame is absolutely incredible. It's a beautiful spectacle as well as the fight, and the arena itself is not too great, but at the very least, having the Frenzy Flame light up the area like crazy is an incredible design choice, and I really like it. So S tier it goes. Now we're gonna get into I guess we could say the Mother of Fingers. I would say C tier. an annoying boss with a decently annoying gimmick. The quest itself to get to her was not too bad, but it was still kind of annoying. She's not horrible. She can be fun, but I just never really enjoyed my encounters with her. I just never really had a fun time fighting this boss. So unfortunately, I had to put it at C tier. Now, Commander Gaius. This dude absolutely is annoying. You know what? Screw it. Just because I didn't enjoy your fight. Trash. You could quite literally dodge out of the way and you would still get clipped by this dude's ridiculous range. Not to mention, every single one of his moves is literally just gravity magic. We've already fought multiple people in the lore that has gravity magic. And the gimmick of riding on a animal is really cool. But his hitbox when he's doing his charge attack is absolutely vile. And you can't dodge it except for in a very specific way, because if you mistime it, you will be hit ridiculously hard. I just didn't enjoy the fight. He is trash. I genuinely did not enjoy his fight, and I will never enjoy that fight. The only thing I enjoyed about it was being able to bleed him into oblivion. This, I forgot what her name is. It's the Scorpion Lady. I would put her at A tier. Very pretty fight, very beautiful arena. The design choice was perfect, as well as her design overall. The weapon itself is really cool, as well as the incantation that she drops. I had a great time fighting her. Using a fire-based weapon makes this fight a little bit easier than most, so it's not too bad, but it's not too easy either, because of the fact that she can build up Scarlet Rot. So overall, A tier. I enjoyed it. Now we get to this thing. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I just don't enjoy it. D tier. Sorry, not sorry. It's literally just a boring fight. The whole way through, you have to fight this dude multiple times just to be able to get him to go down. And for what? Just for you fight a weakened version and then another slightly stronger version and then the strongest version. Which is like, why? Why do you have to do this for 3 times? You should have just went down the first time and been over with. You couldn't have just shown your true strength to begin with. That's how I feel about that fight, genuinely. I just do not like it. It's not fun. And now we come to the top 2 contenders of this list. Oh boy. How do I even speak about these two? I guess we'll do Prime Consort Radon first. And I'm going to put these two up here and debate to myself which ones I like the most. So, coming into the DLC was a whole new experience. Going in to fight these 2 bosses, they are the most spectacle as well as the most skill checking of any fight in the DLC. I don't care what anyone says, these 2 gave me the hardest time while playing the DLC. And it's rightfully so, because one is the final boss and one is arguably just as strong, if not stronger. And basically, my experiences with these 2 are that they are really incredible boss fights. From the time that you enter the arena, to the side quest characters that are able to join, to the entire experience overall, their moves, their development, watching them change as the fight grows on, being able to have different choices in the Consort Radon fight was really cool. But honestly, if I had to pick my favorite boss overall, it would have to be Bale. I love dragon fights. I really do. And Bale was the perfect dragon fight. From the fire, lightning, to all the different types of ways he messed around with his arena. Watching the spectacle of the sky change as he flies in. The fact that he has the heads of Placidusax just hanging off of his body from when those 2 fought it out was incredible. seeing his damaged wings, him taking flight across the arena, being able to shoot down things at you. It was a pure spectacle and it was absolutely incredible. Not to mention the NPC, I forgot what his name is for the moment, but him just coming in and screaming his iconic Bale. It's it's absolutely incredible. I had a great time with this game. I love it to pieces, and every time I go back and play it, I still have a great time. But overall, my favorite boss is Bale, and I will forever say Bale. If you all enjoyed this list and you're still here, thank you so much. I have been coming back and enjoying content creating, and I really want to put myself out there to do more. And the only way that I can do that is through the support of the people who are actually here making this dream happen. I want to give a shout out to all of the recent subscribers that I have been gaining to the channel. Thank you all so much. I promise I will be doing more content and doing things that are more, I guess, up your alley very soon. And I have a lot of plans and ambitions that I'm going to be putting out. I'm going to continue my death battle videos. I'm going to continue all the other videos that I've been putting up on the channel. And I need to properly go back and cut some of the videos into shorts. But if you enjoyed this video, leave me a like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. Let me know something that you want to hear me do. Whether it be a tier list, or reaction, or anything that is within reason, I will do. And as always, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.